Now, you are going to speak to this monk and find out why he is here, and then he will be removed from college grounds.
What you learn here will last
It is
you a
good to
lifetime.
meet you in person.
Several, if you're talented.
I'd simply like to talk to you. I've given us a chance to speak privately, but I'm afraid I can't do this for long. We must be brief. The situation here at your college is of dire importance, and attempts to contact you, as we have previously, have failed. I believe it is due to the very source of our concern. This object, the Eye of Magnus, as your people have taken to calling it. The energy coming from it has prevented us from reaching you with the visions you have already seen. The longer it remains here, the more dangerous the situation becomes. And so I have come here personally to tell you it must be dealt with. I'm afraid it's not that simple. You must understand the Psijic Order does not typically intervene directly in events. My presence here will be seen as an affront to some within the Order. As soon as we have finished, I will be leaving your college. I'm all too aware that my arrival has aroused suspicion, especially in Onkano, your Thalmor associate. Nevertheless, my Order will not act directly. You must take it upon yourself to do so. I presume you refer to Onkano's distaste for the Psijic Order. The Thalmor see our Order as a threat because we have power, and we will not allow them to control us. I assure you that we mean you no harm. As you may have learned, this object, the Eye, is immensely powerful. The world is not ready for it. If it remains here, it will be misused. Indeed, many in the Order believe it has already. Rather, something will happen soon, something that cannot be avoided. We believe that your efforts should be directed towards dealing with... I fear I have already overstepped the bounds of my Order. His perception may be more coherent than ours. I am unsure. He is somewhere within the college. Surely one of your colleagues must know his location. I am sorry I cannot provide you with further help, but this conversation requires a great deal of effort on my part. Now, I'm afraid I must leave you. We will continue to watch over you and guide you as best we can. It is within you to succeed. Never forget that.
I'm sorry. Were you about to say something?
You must excuse me. I shouldn't be here.
I'm not sure what happened. A monk from the Psijic Order. Here after all these years, and then he just leaves. I hope we didn't offend him somehow. Beyond asking for you, he never said. Very strange indeed. Has Toftir been telling stories again? I thought I made it quite clear that this was a subject inappropriate for conversation. Please, don't allow him to continue to discuss the subject.
Well,
All right then.
what is the meaning? I'm not sure what just happened, but I assure you I will get to the bottom of it. Whatever it is those Psijics are up to, they cannot be trusted. For all we know, he's here to scout out the college. I'm sure they want to undermine our efforts. This orb, the Eye of Magnus, whatever you want to call it, it's clearly powerful, and no doubt they want it for themselves. I expect to be informed if they make any future attempts to contact you. The what? No, I'm quite sure I have no idea what you're talking about. I suggest you mind your own business and return to whatever it is you do here.
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't understand.
Don't play coy. You asked to see a specific member.
It's always encouraging to see the younger generation. Well now, there's a name I haven't heard in some time. My goodness, it's been years since I've spoken with him. I suppose he's still down in the Midden, but I haven't checked. Are you going to see him? Do tell him hello for me, won't you? Underneath the college. It's not the nicest place, so if you go down there, please do be careful. I have no idea, but it's fascinating. Assuming it's true, of course. The Isle of Artaeum, and yet now, suddenly, they've chosen... If nothing else, I'd take it as a compliment. The Psijics have only ever dealt with those they feel worthy. I can certainly share a bit of what I know. Until next time.
Perseverance will only lead to disappointments. Still, you persist. Very well. You may enter. I am that which you have been seeking. Your efforts are in vain. It has already begun. But those who have sent you have not told you what they seek, what you seek. Indeed. And so you have come looking, though you do not know why. Like others before you, you blindly follow a path to your own destruction. The Thalmor came seeking answers as well, unaware they will be his undoing. Your path now follows his, though you will arrive too late. No, though you may be the last. The one who calls himself Ancano has sought my knowledge as well, through very different questions. Your path differs from most. You are being guided, pushed towards something. It is a good path, one untraveled by many. It is a path that can save your college. I will tell you what you need to know to follow it further. You, and those aiding you, wish to know more about the Eye of Magnus. You wish to avoid the disaster of which you are not yet aware. To see through Magnus's eye without being blinded, you require his staff. Events now spiral quickly towards the inevitable center, so you must act with haste. Take this knowledge to your Archmage.
It's no secret that the... Really? And what might that be? I'm sorry, what? Well, I'd certainly love to have such a powerful staff, but I'm not really sure that any of us need it. And how do you know of this? Did you really? And he specifically mentioned the staff of Magnus? I'm impressed with your initiative. Of course, someone will need to follow up on this. I certainly do. Since you went so far as to seek out the Augur for advice, I thought you'd be more enthusiastic. Something as specific and ancient as the Staff of Magnus. I'm not sure we'd ever find something like that. I seem to recall Mirabelle mentioning the staff somewhat recently. Why don't you see if she can tell you anything? I'm quite pleased with your progress, you know. You've certainly proven yourself to be more than a mere apprentice. This circlet once proved invaluable to me. I hope it can be of use to you. Huh? I hope Mirabelle is helpful in locating the staff. Now, if you'll excuse me.
If there are any problems, let me know. It's my job to keep things running smoothly. Well, that depends. Beralda can teach destruction spells, and offers training in that school. Finis is one of the best conjurers in all of Skyrim, and can help with spells from that school. Don't let Tolfdir fool you. He's the preeminent scholar on alteration. If you can find him and finally, there's Colette. She may be difficult to get along with. She's very knowledgeable when it comes... Well, now that's an odd question. Why in the world would you be asking? The Eye of Magnus? I can appreciate that this thing, this orb, it's very impressive. Very unique and definitely... But let's not jump to any conclusions or assign it importance beyond what we're certain of. The Augur. Just what have you gotten yourself involved in? Whatever is going on, whatever you're up to, be very careful. Well, it's said to be very powerful. Has the capacity to store an incredible amount of magical power, as the story goes. But it's more myth than anything at this point. I've no doubt that it actually exists, but no one has seen it in, what, decades? Longer? The only time I've heard it mentioned was when those Synod characters showed up some months ago looking for it. Mages based out of Cyrodiil. They fancy themselves the imperial authority on magic these last few hundred years. My understanding is that all they really do is make noise in an attempt to curry favor from the Emperor. Lots of politics, little magic. I was quite surprised to find them on our doorstep. They seemed amiable enough, but their line of questioning made me... It became clear they're trying to hoard powerful artifacts, looking to consolidate power. No one here does. The Synod seemed convinced it was somewhere in Skyrim. They inquired about the ruins of Mzulft, but that's all I remember. It sounded like they were heading there, though they were rather secretive about why. I suppose if you're intent on looking for the staff, there's a chance they might be in Mzulft yet. Just don't expect them to be cooperative.
I trust that you'll inform me as soon as the staff is recovered.
You know, they say knowledge is its own reward.
If you have a moment, could you help me with something? Didn't you know? Before the Oblivion Crisis, many elves called Winterhold their home. More visited the college from Morrowind every year. After, growing distrust of magic made life difficult for many. Some left rather than endure the growing hatred from the local Nords. Others returned. Winterhold itself died in the years between then and now. What's left out there is a husk. Only the college really remains. We're all trying to become better mages, right? Well, I need someone I can practice a few spells on. Nothing dangerous, really. Would you be willing to assist me? Well, I simply thought you might wish to help out one of your fellow mages. If that's not enough, I suppose I have this amulet you could take. Oh, good. I was afraid I'd have to go ask J'zargo. Now, you just stand there. Please hold still, and don't move. There! Now Oh dear. That wasn't supposed to happen. Do you feel all right? You look very, green. I am so very sorry. I went over this again and again, and I was sure it would have better results. It's not. It shouldn't be. You'll be back to normal in no time. And when you are, we can try this again, and I'll be sure to get it right.
Have you managed to track down the Synod, or the Staff of Magnus?
I'm working on some very important research. You mean the official sort of business? Well, no. No, not really. But I can't help but notice that you're doing quite well for yourself. Rising through the ranks and all. It may not be official, but there is a project I've been working on. I wonder if perhaps you could assist with it. What? No, goodness no. At least, I don't think so. No, it's just something I'd prefer to keep to myself. Just bring me some Dwemer cogs. I need to examine them for the methods used in forging them. 10 of them should be enough for me to get a better understanding of how they were crafted. That's all I need, all right?
Let me give you a bit of advice. Even with the college's late purposely killing your fellow... if you're going to need live test subjects for your experiments, I hope you've got some coin. Let's just take a look, then. All right, then.